We're just normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
We're just innocent men.
Welcome to the RedAssPodcast, your home for Aggie sports, barbecue, music, and much more. And now your hosts, Rob White and Roy May.
Howdy, guys. Welcome back to the RedAss Podcast. Today is Thursday, February 19th. And as of the time of this recording, the U.S. women just took down the Canadians in women's hockey in the Olympics. Boom. Oh, Canada sucks at the sport that they so pride themselves on. I think that's the beauty, the ultimate beauty of the Olympics. It's a bunch of sports that the average American does not give a damn about for about 4 years until it comes time around. We win those competitions and we're just like, suck it, world.
Yeah, we're absolutely obnoxious about it. I'm an absolute Olympics junkie.
Yeah.
But yeah, sports like speed skating. Can't tell you the last time I saw speed skating outside of the Olympics.
Yeah, even bobsled, it's like I don't pay attention to much of that. I mean, curling is kind of interesting to keep up with. And of course, we all love hockey.
Well, yeah, hockey's a little different. I mean, that's a more traditional sport. I mean, that's a global sport. And then, yeah, but stuff. Well, I will say curling. So I follow USA Curling on socials. So I actually keep up with the U.S. curling team. I am going curling tomorrow night, as a matter of fact. I am,
Weird.
yeah. So there's an Olympic sanctioned curling center down in Houston, down in Sugarland, and I've been wanting to go for years. And the sessions they have, like they're always sold out. I can never get them, and somehow I managed to get 2 slots during the Olympics. Um, so it's a 2 hour block, and so the first 20 minutes is all like just informational, and then the last hour 40 is like you're out on the sheet, man. And I love curling. Like I fell in love with curling probably a decade and a half ago. So I'm a big curling nerd. So this is the first. So I'm like actually going to get to curl on Friday night. Now the session starts at 9 p.m. So I'm gonna get back to College Station at like 1 in the morning. But
Worth it.
absolutely worth it. Oh, absolutely. So I'm looking forward to that. That should be a ton of fun. Megan and I are gonna go down and learn how to curl.
That'll be a lot of fun. Before we get any further into the podcast, I am Rob White, fighting Texas Aggie class of 2014.
Yeah, and I'm Roy May, fight Texas Ag Class 2015. You brought up bobsled. Um, I would say that Aggies are probably a little bit more invested with Boone Niederhofer being on the team. And I saw earlier today, I saw they ran the fastest time in the third practice run.
Love that.
Uh, so maybe it's like legit. Again, like I don't follow bobsledding, so I don't know how good we actually are. I mean, I don't know. Wait till the Olympics come around every 4 years to find out if we're good at bobsled or not.
Yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on that.
Yeah, but I love the Olympics.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll watch them if I have time. I'll watch them during the day, and then when Megan comes home to watch the replays, I'll watch them again. I don't care.
Mhm. All
But,
right.
oh yeah, very very exciting. Men play. Is it tomorrow or Saturday in the semifinals? So and like hockey in general, I posted this out a little bit ago. Like I after seeing like the men's game yesterday and the women's game today, like I don't understand how anybody could not like hockey, right? They
So fun.
sport, and I will say that the Olympics, like their overtime rules, 3-on-3 hockey,
Mm-hmm.
amazing. Like I'm absolutely here for it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, really exciting. So I'll be watching the men when they play. Um,
I'm just
yeah,
I'm glad they took down the Swedes.
yep.
That was always a pleasure to
It was. I mean,
pay back a little bit for giving us IKEA.
yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
3 of the 4 quarterfinal matches went to overtime yesterday. It was absolutely bonkers.
that's good. I mean, that means really tight level competition across the board, which is always fun to keep up with.
Well, you hit the point where now the only teams left are basically all NHL players. So yeah, so I mean, at this point, the competition is great. I mean, it's so fun to watch. Like, it's kind of like quasi All-Star games, because they have like these, NHL players from all over. The only country that didn't have an NHL player on their roster was the host country, Italy.
What I do find very funny, it has been a lot of the comments online on the Russian front, like, if we really wanted this to be a true show the best. The Russians need to be there. I'm like, well, play stupid
Well,
games, win stupid prizes. I mean, that's
yeah.
just where you're at right now. Sorry.
So sorry, buddies. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah. So that's our Olympics kick to get everything moving. But
absolutely.
plenty to talk about, and we go ahead and start with the game from last night.
Yeah.
A&M, Ole Miss comes down, plays A&M. A&M obviously in borderline tailspin at this point,
Oh,
having lost four straight, plummeting down like all the bracketologists, seeding charts. Um, and the game doesn't go real well. I wasn't able to watch it because I had a business dinner, but I did watch the highlights, and it was sometimes you need one of those games because Ole Miss is just showing that. I mean, maybe they're better than their record, but they just cannot close out a basketball game. And we took advantage of that. And so it was, uh, you know, you're down. Oh gosh, what was it? You're down 13 points in the second half. And other than, rather than folding or going into a frenzy of bad shots and missing, which we've seen in this 4 game stretch before Ole Miss, it's a 19-6 run. At I think it was like the 332 or 337 mark. From then on, Ole Miss didn't score. Like that is fantastic. And to see Ruben Dominguez get back into his stride and not just hit threes, but hit incredibly timely 3-pointers, in that in the closing stretch, and for us to put a game away. I mean, you'd love to go in there and just beat the tar out of a bad team, but maybe this because at this point they've got tired legs, man. Just the way buckyball is played, it's a long season. It's tough on them, and then when you're tired and you're winning, that's one thing, but when you're tired and you're losing, it kind of compounds things, and it starts to wear on you mentally. And so for them to be able to show that all the hard work is going to pay off, and to be able to put Ole Miss away, that was something with Missouri and Vandy and maybe even Alabama, if you want to say it, just unable to put it away in the end.
mhm.
Um, or put yourself in a position to put it away in the end, between those 3 games. So it was good to see them be able to bounce back and do that. I mean, you'd like for them not to be in that situation, but man, they needed to win. They needed to win.
Yeah, I mean, when you're in a situation like you have been, where you have lost 4 straight, and I mean, yeah, everything's going against you. I mean, I was reading up on comments because I was also in that same boat, couldn't catch the game, but reading up on like, oh man, we're playing against all these little ticky tack calls on top of everything else, trying to get back into the game, yada yada yada. Well, at the end of the day, you end up getting what is a very very important win mentally as much as it is for the stat sheet. It's vastly important to break out of a streak and then hopefully reset your head to say, okay, well, we know how to win again. Let's
Yep.
see if we can keep that ball rolling.
Yeah, and that was one thing. You bring that up, and the Florida game was really the only game we weren't competitive in, right? I mean,
Right.
we picked a bad night to have a bad night against a team that had a really good night and a team that's really good and massive, right? They're super long.
Right.
Um, but when you play in like a tight game like Alabama, tight game like the Missouri game, and especially when you're losing, and then like a game that you feel like you should win against Ole Miss, in the beginning when you're complaining about officiating, sometimes it can be accurate, but when you're in kind of a tailspin, it's easy to really start picking on the officials just because.
Of
Um,
course.
it's just blah blah blah. It's hard to play against a 5-on-8, but so and again, but I'm like you, I didn't see the game, so I don't know if they're ticky tack or not. But
Right.
sometimes, and that's the problem with basketball as well. Is just the officiating in basketball is it's just at a certain level. Like it has its benchmark. Now, I don't find that benchmark to be acceptable, but it has a benchmark nonetheless. And so it's easy to kind of pick on stuff like that. But the guys who weren't picking on that were the guys on the court playing. They it's just grit and determination, man, to be able to come back, to be able to shut them down
Yep.
and truly finish them off was it was great to see.
It was.
Um, Incredibly important for their confidence level. Absolutely important for that. And so it's just one game at a time, right?
One game at a time, and that's all you can ask for. So up next, you've got Oklahoma, and
Who
that's it.
is
Yeah.
equally as bad as Ole Miss, apparently.
Yeah.
Um, I
In
don't sit around and watch SEC basketball all the time, so
So it's equally bad, but they have found themselves in a position where they've been doing a little better as of late. They did lose to Tennessee, on the road, which is never an easy environment to be in.
Oh
But,
yeah.
took care of business against Georgia at home, took down Vanderbilt on the road. Those are two very good wins for Oklahoma
Yeah,
at a
we could
point when they've been at a very, very bad stretch and they're way off down the standings here. They're sitting what 3-10 in conference play right now. Not very good.
Yeah, that's the goofy thing. It's not quite on the same level as baseball, but being able to go into it. Vanderbilt's a tough place to play just because it's weird, right?
It's a
You
goofy,
know, the
goofy court.
benches on the ends and everything.
Yeah.
But they were able to go into Vanderbilt and win, and we couldn't. So that's a data mark. But again, the transitive property doesn't work in sports.
No,
However, overall they're having a poor season. So
they are.
you'd like to think that you can rattle off another win. Is that in Norman or is it here?
It's in Norman because we played them here already.
That's right. Yeah. So, the return fixture, if you will.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's obviously always going to be tougher on the road. But hopefully you have that swell of confidence. Get some rest. I was listening to some interviews of Bucky and just talking about how at this point in the season, because of the wear and tear and just how tough it is to play that style of basketball and really any basketball this late in the season, you got tired legs, man.
Yep.
And changing your approaches to practices and shoot arounds and schedules and how you do all that. So they'll be much lighter practices. Hopefully they're able to recover better and be ready to play in Norman on Saturday.
Yep. So we'll be definitely keeping up with the men as they continue that track. After that, we'll get into the next week, but they're going to start getting going with Arkansas and Texas at that point. Get fun with all that. So, in the meantime, let's go ahead and take a peek at the women. So flip the script a little bit, go look at women's basketball.
Yeah, I'm pulling up. I'm trying to pull up the lines for it. I'm curious where we are relative to Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
I got just about 2 to 3 points, 2.5 points, something like that, 2.5 point line.
Mm-hmm.
So in Vegas, I was expected to be tight. I don't know what Vegas gives for like home court advantage in basketball. I know in football it's 3 points. I don't know what it is for basketball. I would assume it's probably close to that, maybe 4 or 5 points.
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 points. But excuse me. But again, they just have to go up there and just get through it, quite frankly. I mean, it's just tough it out because you're at the point of the season where you're having to tough it out because you're not going to change philosophies. We've already seen that Bucky's not going to change his philosophy. So you just got to maintain to play, quote unquote Bucky ball. And hopefully, what the coaches can do relative to keeping them as healthy as possible and as fresh as possible. And that is one nice thing we've seen though throughout the year is a really steady rotation of players. You don't have somebody that's played 37 minutes a game every game. So you do have people that have experience and have played, have meaningful minutes in games. So you don't just have to stick with the same 5 guys and run them into the ground.
Right.
But, all right, yeah, you have women's pulled up.
Yeah, I got women pulled up. So taking care of business back on Sunday against Auburn in emphatic fashion. You win by 18.
Yeah, and before that, was it the previous Sunday they played Alabama? I'm trying to remember.
You win that game too.
Yeah, so you said beat Alabama. That was, it's kind of surprising, but I still don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah.
Because this year, she hasn't had the rash of injuries like she's dealt with the last 2 years. The last 2 years were ridiculous. You have that one year where she had like basically 7 players that were healthy.
Yeah.
She had you have 2 subs or one or 2 subs. But she's got a healthy team, so it's just the problem is those years where she had so many injury issues, it set the program back, and setting the program back includes setting it back for recruiting.
Right.
And in the SEC, you can't miss on recruiting cycles.
Yeah, you can't fall behind.
Yeah, and I think that's from what I've heard, she's not a huge fan of recruiting, and that's a problem. So
that is a big problem in this sport.
now if you've got an assistant coach that's recruiting extraordinaire, then all you have to do is be the head coach, and I get that. But it feels like what she's got is she doesn't have. It doesn't feel like she has any like recruiting specialists or anybody that are high profile recruiters on her staff. I mean, we've got talent, but we don't have the kind of talent required to compete in the SEC and at the national level.
Right.
I mean, it sucks to say that, but it's true.
Yeah, it's going to be Yeah, I mean, that's been a running theme, unfortunately, with the women's program, and we can only hope that it does improve. But
Yeah, I mean, you got some games left. You've got, you've got the tournament, as long as you make the tournament. It's just it's kind of one of those where do you go from here kind of things. Is it just are we just going to sit on our contract? Or so I don't. It's tough to talk about women's basketball, especially having lived through the Gary Blair days.
mhm,
Um, with all the success we had, so it stinks, but it is what it is.
is what it is. Let's go ahead. So we're not dawdling too much on that. Let's go look at what took place this past weekend in softball.
Yeah, so softball went out in the Eddie Seymour Complex. So it's the Clearwater tournament, basically. It's the Shriners Clearwater tourney. They have 5 games out there. They played 2 ranked teams. They played Oklahoma State and Duke. Lost both of those games. That's how they started the tournament. Basically, it was 2 losses. So that was disappointing. And then but then they go on to play NC State, Jimmy Mad, Northwestern. They win all 3 of those games. 2 of them pretty healthily. It's 10-2 against NC State, 11-0 against James Madison. Tight one against Northwestern to close it out, but they finished 3-2 in the tournament. But the 2 teams that were ranked that they played was they were challenging. They are they're already into first pitch. So they are in the Mary Nutter this weekend, which is out in California. So they went East Coast to West Coast. They've got 2 ranked games. They're playing number 14 Oregon and number 14 Duke. That can't be right, but they're both ranked. Duke's got to be ranked higher than 14th.
You
Um, yeah, so they got Oregon and Duke today, and that's on Flow College. If anybody wants to watch that stuff through the weekend, it's not unfortunately televised like ESPN Plus or anything like that. And then they'll play on Friday. They've got 1 game to play UC San Diego, and then Saturday they've got number 6 Nebraska, and then LMU and this doubleheader on Saturday. Then Sunday they have 1 game, but it's with number 11 UCLA. So it's uh number 11.
yeah,
Okay, yeah. So I'll go back. So first of all, I love how she scheduled the non-conference, going from East Coast to West Coast, playing these tournaments that are stacked full of talent. Right, best teams in the nation are playing these this year. Or some of the best teams in the nation are playing in these this year, and it's so it's so fun to watch because it's like highly competitive softball, out of conference, and then it's also this something that you could is this going to be a matchup we might see in the postseason? So you got
right.
kind of that to it. And then you've also got the element of like just truly challenging your girls, right? Then going from East Coast one weekend and going to West Coast the next weekend, and you're playing double headers where both teams are ranked. So you got it's just the way it sets up, and that prepares you so well because the SEC softball, like we said, the gauntlet that it is, you know, if you can go somewhere and in 5 days play, 7 or 8 games, 3 of them against ranked opponents,
Yeah.
hopefully you find some success in those games. By the time you get to the SEC, you're going somewhere like you're going to Gainesville, Florida, and you only got to play 3 games in 3 days.
Well, it,
Like
well, and this is also so reminiscent of what you're going to end up seeing in regionals. We talk about it every year. That's why these tournaments are so good, is because it does give you those opportunity to play a variety of level of opponent, especially in a foreign environment, because you very well may be in one
yeah,
against this type of opponents. So it's important to play these type of games.
yeah, it's a great job on the scheduling. I mean, I'm gonna. I think there's like a small subscription for Flow Sports. I'll probably ding that up for like a 7-day trial or something. But what I want to see out of this weekend though is so last weekend, two ranked teams we played, we lost to, right?
And you got 3 this week.
Yeah, and we have 3 this weekend, kind of an extended weekend because they're starting today. Um, you can't you can't beat all the unranked teams and lose to all the ranked teams. And I don't expect them to by any means, but from what I've seen so far, it's a significant drop off from Emily Kennedy in the circle.
Yeah,
Um,
we have largely struggled against every ranked team we've played.
yeah, and for the most part, it's been the pitching. Texas Tech was a little different because the first inning everything exploded, and then it was a pitcher's duel until the last inning. So
Right.
that one was a little bit unique. But outside of that one, the ranked teams we played, we've lost and we struggled. We've struggled in the box, we've struggled in the circle. But in the box, I'm not worried about.
Mhm.
Really, I'm not. I don't know if that's just me being, with my maroon shades on or what, but I'm not concerned about the offensive production. I'm concerned about the pitching because this is such a pitching centric sport. I
Mhm.
mean, that's why Texas Tech wouldn't spend $1 million on a pitcher because she can pitch the whole freaking season.
Yeah.
Um, so they've got to find control first of all because I was watching some of the games and it was like the first so one game it was like 4 innings in a row they got the leadoff batter on. One game it was like 2 or 3 innings in a row where they walked the leadoff batter. In one of those innings, she walked the first two and beaned the third. Like the free passes, I know because Trisha Ford is real big with pitchers, right?
Mhm.
I know it is killing her, especially when they do those dear like mid-game interviews. They're like, "So what are you seeing?" And I know she wants to be like, "You know what I'm effing
Nothing
seeing?"
good.
It's a bunch of bullshit in the circle. But but I mean, she understands it. You can tell by the comments that she does make in her interviews and PCs is like the pitching has got to come along. If this team wants to do anything special, the pitching is going to have to come along. Do they have the talent there? I think they do. I think Sydney Lessentine, Sydney Peters, I think they can. Yeah, I do think that they've got the talent there. For some reason, for me, when it comes to control, and I think this, this is probably is in baseball too, because both sports are such mental games. If you don't have control early, it is really difficult to reel it back in. Like it's difficult to reel it back in without throwing just meatballs right over the plate. And you have to have the mental fortitude to flush bad pitches, and just get back in the circle or get back on the mound and make your pitch and hit your locations. So I think maybe some of it's just like a sports psychology kind of thing, because the talent is there. Like the pitchers on staff, they have the stuff, they do. Um, but just certainly not concerned about the offense. It's been fun to see some new names pop up and really kind of beat the crap out of the ball. Was it Matty Wark?
Mhm.
And then Maya's just going to be Maya. It's ridiculous. But but yeah, so I'm hoping to catch at least some of those games. I wonder if
They started.
no, I wonder if the 12th man is streaming or if it directs you over to Flow. Yeah, it directs you over to Flow Sports. Oh well.
Well, and
Um
what's weird is when I've tried to pull up the live stats, they actually have the logos and everything flipped. So it's like Oregon has a hit, but it has our logo next to it. So I'm very confused. Like, why are we doing this?
awesome.
Yeah, real helpful. We'll keep up with that, but we are into the top of the second. Nothing happening. So early.
Other than the fact that everything is flipped.
Everything's flipped. Yeah. So it's going to be yeah. So we'll see how the ladies perform this weekend. Lots of a good opportunity to build for sure. I mean, if you can walk away from this tournament, well, I said three. No, you're playing four ranked teams. If you can split those or have a positive record in those games, that's going to go a long way to I think show that you've got what it takes down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, you'd love to see like 2-1, right?
Or well,
Against
there's
against the ranked teams.
there's four ranked teams. That's what I was saying. Because you have
Oh, that's right.
Oregon, Duke,
Yeah, that's right.
Nebraska, and UCLA.
Yeah, I forgot about Nebraska. Yeah, if you can split those two, I think that's a good result because they're all bunched about around the same in the rankings.
Sure.
You'd love to see 3-1, and if you have 4-0, then all of a sudden you feel like you've
Okay.
maybe solved some problems. Like you were able to iron some stuff out throughout the week. Um, but it doesn't get any easier for them either. When they come home, they get their first game back. They get it's the Texas A&M Invitational.
Right.
So Cougar High is going to be in town. Louisiana Raging Cajuns always have a good um, have a good softball program, and you get to play them twice.
Yep.
So a little bit easier competition, but you do have Houston and the Raging Cajuns in the field. So decent. Again, it's got kind of that regional feel to it.
Yep.
You got maybe a Houston Raging Cajun, and Kennesaw State comes as a 4 seed kind of thing. So that's next weekend is one that you expect them to sweep, obviously. Um, uh, next weekend. But obviously, this weekend is the focus. And starting off today, I mean, if they split today, I'd be thrilled.
Sure.
Just back-to-back ranked teams, like just split it, right? But so maybe they were a little overranked to start the season. That's fine.
And that's
Because
okay because the beauty is you can always build back on it, right? And
yeah,
especially this early.
play your way back to it. Absolutely.
Yep. All right. Flip over to the other diamond. Baseball has kicked off, opened with a 3-game sweep against Tennessee Tech, and took care of business on Tuesday night against A&M Corpus Christi in the opening Tuesday game, which is always a treacherous first Tuesday game. It can be for a lot of teams. So,
Right.
So 4-0. The Bats looked alive over the weekend.
Oh, over the weekend, that was ridiculous. I mean, like you expected to sweep Tennessee Tech, but you didn't expect to go out there and put up 45 runs in 3 games. I mean, that is monstrous. Like that is, and I get that it's Tennessee Tech, but still, baseball is still baseball.
Well, and consider this. I saw a really interesting stat. 38 runs in the first 2 games. Somebody said that was the most that we've had since about 1948.
Yeah, I saw that stat. Yeah, like the 40s or 50s or something like that.
It's like, ooh, hello.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, and Tuesday, yeah, and, getting to see the freshmen, their Tuesday kind of explosion. Man, we got some talented freshmen on this roster, man.
We do.
I think Aggie baseball is, I think we talked about being cautiously optimistic. I still don't, and it's the same with softball for me. I still don't know that the pitching is there. In baseball, you can make up, if you're lacking in pitching, as long as your defense is solid and you can mash the ball, like produce runs, like you can overcome it as long as the pitching is average, as long as the pitching is average. If you're it's just a touch above average, you can generally overcome average pitching. You can't overcome bad pitching, but we don't have bad pitching. That's not the case. It's just we've been so used to over the last decade of having these pitchers that stayed here for 2 and 3 years. So you knew what to expect on the weekend. You knew what the rotation was going to be. And it's been like that for so long. And so to have, the new names come out, new names, out on the mound on a Saturday and on a Sunday and, coming out of the bullpen, you're like, who is this guy? You have to go to the roster just to even see who he is, like what classification you just don't know. But that's the beauty of the midweek games and the Tennessee Tech type series is you do have the opportunity to run these guys out there, and you can really see what you've got from any of these guys when you're in the kind of commanding position that our offenses put us in.
Yeah, and that was so nice to keep up with, and it was good to see a lot of the names back in the lineup that we had lost. I mean, Sorrell looked outstanding. Grahovac looked really, really good being back in the leadoff spot. And
Sorrell looked otherworldly, man.
Yeah, well, and then getting to see Shane Sadeo back on the mound, that's been a long time coming.
2 years, right?
Yeah, I mean, the 2024 season was where we lost him, and it was like, damn, because that was a huge, huge impact looking into 2025. Like something a lot of people don't talk about for that season. Like we always talk about, we lost games, we looked lost. And it's like, well, you also have to consider the amount of big time producers that were not on that team.
Yeah. I mean,
and that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah. I mean, we were banged up last year. It doesn't excuse going from,
No.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't excuse what we did, but
it's
year,
a factor.
Again, it's, can we stay healthy kind of thing. And, who was it? Hakopian. I mean, he was out a couple days because he was sick, right? Like he's got that bug that's the crap that's going around right now, which I got earlier in the week.
Mm-hmm.
But guys are gonna get sick. That's fine. But it's just keeping them healthy, man. It'd be so nice to be able to get through a season with a healthy roster, right? And people are gonna get dings and dents along the way, and I understand that. But that's just playing sports, man. That's a season in any sport. You're gonna get worn down, or you're gonna get a little dislocate this or jam that, or take a 90-mile-an-hour fastball or ribs. Like that stuff happens.
Yeah.
But I think, and again, it's a very small sample size against not very good competition.
Exactly.
But we beat the teams we were supposed to beat, which is where you have to start. And that wasn't always the case last year.
Well, I mean, just by pivoting back to last season, let's talk about it real fast. You open, when you take care of your business against Elon, right? You take care of your business. Who was it? I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, we lost the game against New Mexico State. I forgot about that. Early in that season, dropping games here and there that were not really worth dropping. Like losing a game to Cal Poly, losing that Texas State midweek game. losing 2 of 3 in the Astros Foundation College Classic. Like you saw those starting piling up early, and where we're currently at. I mean, it's not sitting there saying that's none of that's happening. You've got good opportunity this upcoming weekend with Penn to go out there and take care of your business.
Yeah, I mean, quite frankly, you'd like to see another sweep. I mean, it's that simple.
Absolutely. Lamar at home, who already isn't looking too outstanding. They played Texas this past week and got smoked out in, I think, 8 innings or whatever it was, so shortened the game. Before you go for your real tests against Virginia Tech, UCLA, and Arizona State over there up in Dallas.
Yeah, that's number 1 UCLA.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're hoping to pull 2 or 3 out of that, honestly. I mean, if we're being completely honest with ourselves. I'll say this. I don't know anything about Virginia Tech baseball this year. I would assume they're not bad. They normally don't invite clunkers to this. Arizona State's a good program. So it's, that'll be a really great test and a really good, I think we talked about this, before the season started. I mean, we knew that the first 2 weekends were going to be, to an extent warm-up weekends, but I will say that Ivy League baseball is better than most people think it is.
Absolutely, it is.
It literally confirmed. That's why when the Ivy League and the service academies end up in postseason, I try and remind everybody that's why baseball players are the smartest athletes of them all. All right? Mm-hmm. And baseball is not my favorite sport. I'm not saying this because I'm a huge baseball guy. I'm saying this because like these dudes like are Ivy League material or service academy material, and they can put together a baseball team to compete well enough to get into postseason.
Yes.
Right. Yep. And so it's, playing a Penn isn't a pushover. I mean, obviously they're going to have years where they're not as good, but yeah, I'm a firm believer in that. And that's why the Ivy League is competitive, if nothing else. I mean, they're not going to get the same athletes. I mean, you're not going to get a kid that goes to Cornell. And I'll tell you this too. I know there are some Ivy League universities. I don't know, maybe all of them. They don't offer athletic scholarships, period. Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, yeah, most of the time they don't. So look,
Harvard doesn't have an NIL program for baseball. I mean, like that. So these guys are like they're just really smart.
They're very athletic nerds.
They're incredibly athletic nerds, but they're athletic enough to put together programs sometimes.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's I wouldn't, and I'm not saying you are, but I wouldn't look at this Penn weekend as a walkover. We've certainly had our weekends against what we thought were going to be lesser opponents, then come in here and slap us around for 3 games.
Yeah, so looking at Penn right now, so this is their opening weekend. They did not have a run of games last week, so we have no tape, nothing on them. This is their first real test of the season for Penn, and they got to go on the road here before they have to go on the road to Macon, Georgia, to go play at Mercer. Then they will turn around and finally have a home series against UMBC coming up in March. So got to wait for everything to thaw out up there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, that's the other thing that's always really interesting is like so often you will see these teams from up north come down here to kick it off because oftentimes mid-February it's pretty miserable up in that part of the world unless you happen to be Minnesota because that Minnesota baseball, they play inside of the Viking Stadium.
Yep.
Yeah, which is interesting, but got to do what you got to do.
Penn is also going to East Carolina this year in non-conference.
Yeah, they are. Pirates.
Carolina's a good program too.
They are a solid program. That is a program I've said for years that'd be so fun to do a home and home with.
What, East Carolina?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now, granted, I don't know what the whole deal is with A&M these days about going to lower conference competition on the road for baseball, but I'm like, I'd go to that series.
The sports to do it in, baseball and softball are the sports you should do it in.
Absolutely.
Like you're not going to play a lesser school that has a stadium that seats 1,100 people. East Carolina doesn't like that. They have a rabid
inside stadium.
Yeah, they have rabid baseball fan base.
Well, and I would love to go hang out there in the outfield with that crew that they keep. I can't remember exactly what the name, but yeah, their stadium holds 5,000. That's a very healthy program size stadium, especially for a 5 team. There's teams in the SEC that don't have that capacity.
Yeah, and East Carolina's a healthy program. I mean, they are.
Yep.
They're regularly competitive.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be a fun one.
I'd be way cool with that. So, on that same token, I guess I'm going to pitch a quick question. So, if you had to pick outside of East Carolina a road baseball series for A&M to go to, which one would it be? And it could be a few.
Baseball.
So, like West Coast, Pepperdine, Long Beach.
Yeah, like Cal State Fullerton or Long Beach. I think those would be cool just because the history that they have, they're not as successful currently, but the history that they have, I think that'd be cool. Let me think. I wouldn't mind going up and playing like a Michigan,
Sure.
like doing a home and away with Michigan in baseball. I think that'd be cool. Um, Trying to think on the East Coast.
So a grown program on the East Coast that I have always had a bit of a soft spot for since 2016, Coastal Carolina.
Oh yeah, that'd be a really good one. Yeah, so you're talking kind of mid-major stuff.
I would say either mid majors or it could be higher, it could be lower. It's just whatever kind of baseball road trips.
Florida State.
Florida State would be really good. The
Yeah,
Animals of Section B.
yeah, that would be fun.
That was 203 stuff as 203 was what it was back in the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the shenanigans are as equal at their ballpark, and I'm a big fan of what they do.
Yeah.
I would say that one's on the list. Any place that has that kind of built up solid fan base, I would consider. So yeah, Florida State's absolutely in there. Coastal's in there, no question.
And I don't even care what it looks like. Like I'll always do home and away with the service academies.
Sure.
I don't care what their stadiums look like. You saw that thing with Clemson.
Very
That
cool.
was hyper class move by Clemson baseball. I thought that was just really really cool. And Army baseball has been good for a while, which is fun because I mean they don't take transfers.
Right.
It's
I
um,
will I will never forget. We played Army a few years ago in a series here.
mhm.
And I vividly remember there was some poor Army mother that was getting after the 203 section. And about making fun of the kids, and everybody's like, they say way worse to each other in the dugout, I guarantee it. And everywhere else too. These
Yeah,
are
and don't take our heckling for disrespect either.
no, and it certainly isn't. It's like at the end of the day, the heckling at its core is supposed to be funny. It's Sandlot heckling.
Yeah.
Was the way I always saw it.
Yeah, for me, it's like as far as like doing those as home and away, for me, it would be like I want the team to get up there a day or two early so they can tour like the service academies,
Yeah,
right?
that'd be cool.
And actually go see West Point and take the train into the city and go to New York City and like I lot like seriously like just turn it into a trip for them
Yeah,
and just go learn about the service academies. I think that'd be cool. But I think so. We basically rotate between Globe Life and the Juice Box, right?
at this point, yeah,
Or the Freeze Box, whatever it's called now. I can. Um,
I call it the ice box
the
because
Ice Box.
AC.
Yeah. But I'd like to see us play in some of those. And I don't know how many really there are because again, like college baseball non-conference, it is impossible to keep up with. If I
Mhm.
don't get paid for it, I'm not following 300 teams. It's not happening. But I wonder if like because we have those, are there more of those around the country that happen in professional stadiums?
Yeah.
I mean I've never heard of them.
Mm.
But I think how cool would it be to have a college series in Wrigley, man?
That would be great, wouldn't
I
it?
mean, it'd be cold, but it'd be cool.
Well, I mean, Wrigley, Fenway, hell, even as much as it would pay me to say Yankee Stadium, but it's good to go play in these historic venues. These is
Like,
the
or even if they're not historic. I mean, Global Live is historic.
no, but
like
but I think for I mean, just for what baseball is, what we know and love about baseball, the East Coast classic stadiums are peak. I'm sorry, they have
well,
been
and
forever.
here's another one. Like you play where the Braves play.
Yeah, no, that they got a nice, the new ballpark up there in the north side.
Yeah, they got a nice new one. Go play there. I think that'd be fun. Go play up at Busch Stadium in St. Louis.
Uh,
Problem is, and I get that it's like this time of year, so it's hard to schedule those. But I mean, go play in Dodger Stadium.
Now, what are your thoughts? Because I don't know if anybody has one scheduled this year, but historically we've seen this where a team like college teams play against the major league clubs. Have you seen this? So, like, for example, Texas Tech plays like the Rangers, but it's like all of their lower level guys for the Rangers, but they're playing against each other. A&M used to do that with the Astros
Hmm.
at Bluebell Park. Like we hosted the Astros were hosted at Bluebell Park or at the Olsen Field. They were hosted there, and like Nolan Ryan's around signing autographs and a bunch of other stuff. And I was like, man, how cool would that be to bring that back? But I understand the logistics are tough these days.
I mean, are they? Well, the problem is they're in spring training.
Exactly. And typically, if they are doing it, it's like the last couple right before the season starts. So you see them maybe like end of March.
Oh, like a scrimmage. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Is what they've done in the past. And I think something like that would be really, really cool to bring back.
That would be really groovy.
Yeah, because bare minimum.
Was it Altuve just rolling around signing autographs?
Well, I mean, and if Jose Altuve played, the heckling would be amazing about his height. He wouldn't understand most of it, but it'd be fun. High levels of entertainment.
Yeah, just unfortunately, it's just the timing of it. That's something where you look at maybe trying to do something like that in the fall.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah, that'd be really cool. But in the fall's where it gets really tough because a lot of those teams, right, they're kind of getting into their postseason as baseball's rolling in, especially there in October.
No, no, I'm talking like post MLB.
Oh, so like later,
Yeah, like end of October.
end of October, maybe. Okay, yeah.
It'll be 70 degrees here. Catch the players before they leave and go on vacation, kind of thing.
Why not? I mean, we already have fall ball in
Well,
conversation, right?
and here's maybe what you do. You come to an agreement where you have the latest date possible, just in case they were to go all the way through Game 7 of the World Series, right? So you have that date set on the calendar, and then you have a date. If you don't make it to a certain point, then we'll move that game up to here.
Sure.
And then like that's just how you have to market it. Like we're gonna be here, but if unfortunately the Astros don't make it, to a certain point in the playoffs, we can pull that date up and scrimmage with them. And you wouldn't need a ton of marketing for that to
No.
blow out Olsen. So it's not like you have to announce it a year early. Um, you just be like, we're in talks, blah blah. And a lot of the big name guys wouldn't come because a lot of them be like, nah, screw that.
Right.
Send the expanded roster guys and send some AAA guys.
Yeah. I was trying to see if there was some kind of uh some list on here to take a peek at, but that's all right. Um, but anyway, very, very intriguing.
Yeah, it's all about timing and it includes the fact that these sports seasons have just gotten so long.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah, it'd be neat though. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a neat concept. It's just so hard to try and put together.
Mm-hmm. No question. But yeah, it does make for a lot of entertainment to keep up with. Now, one thing I would love to see us do is get back to the point where we had alumni games at Olsen.
Yeah, I do like alumni games. Or even, dude, you could even just do like a alumni softball game at Olsen.
Have fun with it.
Or yeah, I mean, hell, you could do it at Davis.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think? No, you want to do it at Olsen. Softball fences are a little too close in. You'd have to, yeah, slow pitch. You'd have some of those dudes wail on there, like Dylan
I was
Rock.
about to say, you could do it like they do it, like at the
All-Star weekend.
where they do the slightly shorter fence around on the inside track. You could do it.
Fun, though. It'd be something fun to do, though.
Yeah.
If it's a weekend where baseball is home and softball is away. Go use Davis Diamond. They're not going to tear it up, man. I was going to be wearing tennis shoes. Nobody's sliding.
Have fun with it.
Or excuse me, I'm sorry, I got it backwards. Softball's home, baseball is gone, so you can use Olsen.
Right. And you could bring in other alumni from other sports programs too for fun.
Well, and to keep it centered kind of around the diamonds, just have like a two mixed squads between baseball and softball alumni to come in and do it.
Yeah.
Right. because then you'll have some baseball people that want to come in and see it. You'll have softball people already in town because softball's playing, and just work it around the schedule.
Yeah.
If they would just ask us, we'd have plenty of good ideas.
I was about to say another couple of ideas for A&M athletics to steal from me. Go ahead.
Brutal. Not bitter at all, right?
All I'm gonna say is every time I walk around, like I was just at checking oil earlier, and I saw some guy walking around on his shirt. He had the football Sarge, and I'm sitting there like every time I see a Sarge holding something for a sports athletic event in this town, I'm gonna be like, it was a good idea.
Well, apparently,
Apparently so.
you have to get a cease and desist.
Pretty much.
All right. Well, looking forward to the baseball series this weekend. I'm looking forward to.
Where you going?
I just clicked on the flow. It's
Oh.
no.
Oh,
I'm gonna try and find a legal stream.
there you go.
Well, just put on social media. Anybody got a flow account?
Anybody anywhere want to share? We're nice guys. We
No,
appreciate it.
I won't abuse it. I promise. I'm just gonna watch this tournament.
Yeah, real quick. Just for my own mental well-being. Would like to
Yeah,
keep up with
just through Sunday, man. You're good.
it's fine. It's no big deal. Well, and that leads to one topic I desperately did want to talk about, which
Mhm.
was the fact that the lack of coverage, especially in particular to baseball, when it comes to ESPN. It is unbelievable that to this day, I can hop on that ESPN app and nothing is sectioned out. You don't have it set up by conference. It is just here's all of the games. About 95% of them aren't going to have a box score. Yeah, there's going to be no news articles. There's no coverage. Like, does ESPN legitimately just not see college baseball as a money making opportunity? What happened this past week up in Arlington for this tournament was incredible. With the Arkansas TCU game, 23,000 people in the building for that.
Yeah, I don't fully understand why they don't put more time and effort into it. My thought is like contract out D1 baseball.
Yeah, but
Like,
that requires them to admit that somebody's better at something than they are.
fix your app, right? So we can sort it by conference. And then call Kendall Rogers.
The Kendall Rogers understands this game better than anyone.
Yeah.
I mean, I will fight tooth and nail for that. Yeah, we have ever all the local coverage, but nobody took as much initiative to try to bring forward what we know and love as college baseball and put it on the national map. I mean, in fact, most people refer to his rankings as the primary rankings.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fantastic. And the fact that he did it so well and he figured out that, like, basically his entire roadmap, he was able to build D1 softball.
Yeah.
And so now those are the rankings, man.
Yeah.
Like,
and I'm cool with that. I prefer that. And I don't know if it's just ESPN being a salty person about all this or
I don't get it because they have numbers that they can look at specifically from the SEC network because the SEC network is great about covering baseball.
Which is so good. I mean, I love that fact. When we got the regional networks for the conferences, that opened up so much additional opportunity for that because not only do you get the broadcasts, but they also have the plus. So you can watch all of the games.
Yep.
For the most part, right? Is so long as it's within an SEC park. When you're getting out to these other tournaments, having to do the Flow College thing. I mean, can we just get away from the online streams for this kind of stuff? No, we can't because they're not going to allow for that. But I mean, there's no reason that ESPN can't take a weekend for a big college baseball series and go focus on that at a tournament.
Yeah, I'll tell you what the weirdest thing is, honestly, is I've been having problems with my app on my TV.
Yeah.
I can watch it on my phone app, but I can't get my TV. Same login credentials, same everything. Yes, I've deleted the app and reinstalled. Yes, I've done all that. I've plugged it and unplugged it and replugged it
Yeah.
again.
The typical fixes, but yeah, when it comes down to it, ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, does not lead this particular sport well, and it never has.
Yeah, they don't.
And it's a darn shame because it really is such a great product, so much so that MLB recognizes that and started hosting a game ahead at in Omaha. They started doing this. So it's clear they understand how important the college baseball world is and how much impact it has. I just don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it'll just so what? The Big Ten Network and the ACC Network are not affiliates with ESPN, correct?
ACC is.
Or ACC is. Well,
Yeah.
see, so that surprises me even more because the two conferences that care the most about baseball, the ACC and the SEC.
No question.
It's not even close. And so, I mean, why isn't somebody just pulling the numbers and seeing like, let's see the broadcast numbers? Okay, people really care about this.
Clearly.
Maybe we should clean our stuff up a little bit. But like you said, require them to admit they're wrong. So here we are.
Yeah, unfortunately, trying to get any major corporation to admit that they're wrong literally takes an arm and a leg, and it's probably going to be yours.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. So no questions this week, no biggie. It's all good because things are moving in the right direction. We are into spring sports. It's feeling like spring weather out there. No question. Although it's supposed to cool off over the weekend, won't stay that way.
Good.
But yeah, we've more or less gotten to more of a spring feel, especially with the wind, everything driving in. Nasty little tornado outbreak over there in Illinois and Indiana today.
Man, I drove down. Oh, speaking of Indiana, did you hear the news about the Chicago Bears?
No, I did not.
They're leaving Soldier Field and going to Indiana.
Oh, the Bears. Yeah.
The Chicago Bears.
So
they've been working for like 5 years with the city trying to come up with a proposal that works. And they couldn't figure it out. So the Chicago Bears are leaving Soldier Field. It's only like, I think it's like 30 minutes away where they're going to build their new stadium, but
the problem,
so weird.
well, when this goes back to what we've been seeing, right? All the new stadiums that are getting built, all the new renderings we see, everything is indoor, everything is lifeless, everything. The only one of the newer stadiums that even kind of looks good as an indoor stadium that I've seen was what they're going to do in Washington because it matches the aesthetic. Which, if you're going to do that, make it match the aesthetic. I think that's cool, but football needs to be played outside.
Yep.
It does. And if you look at the Rangers for baseball, it's 90 something degrees outside and it's hot and it's humid. That happens. It gets hot. It gets cold. Snow is part of the game of football. It always has been. It always should be. And that's why I pray that Pittsburgh never, ever does this. I don't think they would. That's why I pray all those teams up in the Northeast would do that. But the fact is, there's just more money getting built a new stadium, new nice, get more people in there, new nice.
I could see the Bears as an organization deciding to have an open air stadium.
I would hope they would do it, but new stadium equals roofs these days. About the only exception that I've seen was the Bills, and even then it's not really closed, but it is protected.
Yeah.
All the way around. Like it's open air at the top, but it's protected around.
George S. House will be rolling in his grave, man.
Losing it, man.
All righty, man.
Yep. Be sure to follow us on our socials. That is going to be Roy May 15 on X, Roy May Jr. on Instagram, Rod the Slapper on both. Be sure to follow the RedAss Podcast. Be sure to give us a like, a comment, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we're uploading. We're trying to maintain a good schedule, but with what's going on this spring, especially in my camp, things are going to be a little hairy with the wedding and everything else. So lots of moving parts, but
it could be Tuesdays or Thursdays.
Tuesdays or Thursdays for the most part, where we're going to keep this.
If it's Thursday, then we can recap basketball and midweek baseball and softball as well. So Thursday's not the worst day.
Yeah. So yeah, Tuesdays, Thursdays, as we continue to rock and roll on this run. Coming up 2 weeks, 2 weeks from now, mark your calendar if you have not already done so. Our album Comancheria, Carson Jeffrey's 4th album, comes out on all streaming platforms, and we will have vinyls that will be coming later that can be pre-ordered. So I will be sure to talk about that, leave links for all of that whenever we get to it. Very excited about that because I just finished up the back cover. It looks nice. We finally put that together. So, yeah, it's been a process. It has been a long process trying to get this record out, and we're really excited to finally do it. Show's coming up this weekend. If you're in the Portland area, down there near Corpus Christi, we're playing there on Friday night, and we will be in San Marcos Saturday before we head up to Colorado and Wyoming next week. So we will be in touch with that. So podcast will be rolling probably on Tuesday this next week, so we can get that one done out, run up north, and go freeze my tookers off.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Cannot wait. But I am Rob White. This is Roy May. We are the RedAss Podcast. Take care. Beat the hell out of Penn. Beat the hell out of Oklahoma. Beat the hell out of the West Coast regionals.
Oregon, Duke, Nebraska.
Beat the hell out of everybody.
Yes.
We just may just start closing out the podcast by saying that, because I feel like we always run into so many people that we need to beat the hell out of.
Especially in the spring. Yeah. Just beat the hell out of everybody.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening in. Take care. This is the RedAss Podcast. We'll see y'all next time. Gig 'em.
There you go.